Hello, welcome to my very first YouTube video. I am so excited and a little bit nervous to be doing this, but this is something that I have thought about doing for quite a while, and I thought, why not now? Hello, my name is Sarah, and I want to be an author. I don't know when my writing journey really started. I have always wanted to be an author. I've been a writer ever since I was a kid. I don't have anything published. I don't have anything legitimate out in the world, but I have been writing ever since I learned the English language. Now that I'm older and I've graduated school, I decided that I really want to take my writing seriously, as this is something that truly brings me so much joy. The point of this channel is for me to showcase my writing journey. I want to film it and I want to put the creativity that I have while I feel like I'm writing into another outlet. I love AuthorTube. I have watched it for a long time now, and I just love the way that so many up-and-coming authors approach their work, how they even romanticize their daily lives as up-and-coming writers. I want to do that. I started my first major project back in November 2023. I did NaNoWriMo for the very first time, and I actually won it. It was amazing. It was the most I had ever written, honestly, in my life. I wrote about 51,000 words, which was incredible, and I honestly didn't know how I was going to do it, but I did it. Was the writing good? That's actually not the point. The point is that I did it, and with that, I know that it's a novel that I would absolutely love to work on and to solidify and to keep drafting and drafting, hopefully query one day, get an agent, publish it. Those are all the dreams that I've always had, and I want them to come true. Currently, I am working on a very rough draft. I think I'd probably call it draft 0. The tone is so messy in it. I'm going to rewrite it and then hopefully solidify a little bit more of what I actually want the novel to sound like, because it is truly just brain dump. It is called, at the moment, Project Loving Laura, and it is about a young 20-something-year-old girl in the city who is just trying to figure her life out. I adore contemporary fiction and contemporary romance, and I just really love reading about young women my age who are just so confused and just trying to figure it out. I want to finish this draft. I'm at about 59,000 words now. And I'm going to call it draft 0 because it is definitely not a draft that I would really show other people, and that's fine. I think I did a lot of learning as a writer. I'm figuring out what I sound like when I write and what I want characters to sound like, the kind of conversations I want them to have, what I want the tone to have. I kind of went all over the place, honestly, and I haven't read it back yet. It has been so hard for me not to read it back, but I refuse to do it, and I'm not going to read it back until I'm finished draft 0 and I'm going to start writing the next draft. And that's because I'll just be editing the crap out of it and I just will never get anywhere. And also I'll be so discouraged because I know I'll be really mad with like how awful it sounds, how awful the writing is, just like how inconsistent the tone is and blah blah blah. So I have really had to tell myself, do not read this over, just let it be the novel mess that it is, love it, nurse it, and do all the things that you need to do. During NaNoWriMo, I learned a lot of new terms that I honestly hadn't really paid any mind to before. I had heard them here and there, but I really got into the writing community and I learned the terms plotter, the terms pantser, and the terms plantser. I always knew I was a pantser. During my undergrad, I always just kind of word dumped everything and then I revised. I really never planned anything when I was writing. I kind of just wrote a sentence and then went with it. Maybe that's impressive, but I also don't think it's that impressive because it's really just me word vomiting, and a lot of the times you read it back and it's like, oh yeah, I wrote 2,000 words in an hour, but like, what are you talking about? I'm also just discovering that that is simply how I write, and that's just gonna be the way it is, and I have to learn how to now edit that kind of stuff. For Nano specifically, I decided to take the Plantser route because I don't think I could have written 50,000 words in a month without having some sort of structure, I just would have gotten too overwhelmed for myself. I knew that I needed to create a structure. So I did that, and it was so hard to follow. I wrote out like what I wanted every chapter to include and kind of like the beats I wanted to hit. And I have been hitting the beats. According to my template, I have like 4 chapters left, but it's probably more like 6. But just kind of learning how I want to format my planning was a massive thing that I had to start to learn to do, which was really, really hard. But I spent all of October prepping, so it got me to where I am now. And even though I don't really feel like I have gotten very far, I definitely have, because I have developed a story that has been brewing in my brain for a long time, and I have learned so many new things about these characters that I've come up with, and I've learned so many new possibilities about their lives that I never would have thought of if I was just simply plotting. I've had a few major moments where I've like aha moments where I've been like, oh my god, this is where I want the story to go. And I don't think I could have thought of that if I was sitting down with just a notebook and trying to figure out the overall plot. I am a plantser, but mostly a pantser. And so for the next few thousands or so words, I have my structure already. I plan to just pants it out, see what happens. Now I am interested in exploring more about my tone as an author and who I want to be and the type of writing that I want to do. And I obviously gather inspiration through every single book I read. I find that my biggest issue is after I read a book, I'm like, that's the voice I want to have. So if I read an Emily Henry book, I'm like, this is it. I want to be funny and witty, and I want to be charming, but also serious at times. And then when I finished reading My Year of Rest and Relaxation, I was like, I want to be like that. I want to be gritty. I want my main characters to be bitchy. I want them to just kind of hate their lives and so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I love both styles of writing. I think they both serve their purpose. I think they both do an excellent job, like contemporary romance, contemporary fiction, like that kind of stuff. But it's just about, I don't know how I want to sound, and that's the journey that I'm on right now. I think is just trying to figure out how I want to sound, where I want this book to go. Do I want it to be more plot driven? Do I want it to be more character driven? I'm leaning towards character driven because I'm using My Year of Rest and Relaxation as a example. It wasn't about the plot, it was about the experiences of the characters, and I think if you can do that well, it freaking works. I think big goals. I would love to query. Initially, I was saying I want to queer by the end of this year, but then I didn't realize how much of a mess this draft is, which is fine. So maybe by the end of next year, I would love to start querying. I would love to have a literary agent. That is the goal. That has kind of always been the goal. As much as I understand self-publishing and respect self-publishing, and it's an excellent opportunity to get your material out there, I really do want to do publishing the traditional way. I just always have wanted to. I understand the financial aspects of it, and I understand like the competition, and who knows, maybe if I realize, you know what, this isn't for me, I'm just gonna self-publish this because I don't want to go through all that shit. That's so fair. But as of right now, I'm still like doe-eyed and excited and think that, you know, the world is my oyster, and it is, obviously it is, but as of right now, my goals is to query and hopefully find a literary agent. If you have gotten this far, thank you so much for watching me ramble about all of my passions. I am so excited to see what comes of this channel. I really appreciate everyone's support. Any fellow authors who resonate with me, or anyone who has been through what I'm going through and has any advice, I would love to hear it. I am all ears. I think that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I've got to talk about right now. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really hope I see you in the next one. Take care.